I wanted to echo some of the points that Nick had referenced before, because the core of this question, is it worth it if there's a regulatory barrier to doing it? Is if your customers make you do it, then you'll do it. And both Nicks were describing that. So this is going to be something that you'll pull to. So where does this market come from, and who am I? I work in a crypto and digital assets specialist team at an international law firm called CMS. So there are such things as crypto dealers. Some people don't think so, based on what they've read about crypto. And this is done internationally. We have 10 specialists in the team. So our kind of clients, Nick, thought-provoking is here. There's a client for us. Other large exchanges, the household names will be clients, other people in the room. Our clients, investment banks, see this as a significant opportunity. I'm guessing that people have seen Larry Fink, who runs BlackRock, saying that we should tokenize everything. So he's doing my job for me. A lot of my role, and I do writing around this, advise the UK government and other governments, and also trade bodies, UK Finance. I wrote a report on NFTs for UK Finance. They don't mean cartoon animals, they mean digital certificates. They're talking about the same thing that we've done in the UK. And the Investment Association, the buy side and sell side of financial markets, are both working on this. And I think you would struggle to find a financial institution of any large size that hasn't got project teams working on this. So crypto is enormous. It's not a thing, it's a technology, it's a family of technology, it's a way of doing things. So that takes us back up to a little bit of history as well as Nick Philpott did. Once we had computers, then the internet's inevitable. People are going to want to connect the computers so that they can talk to each other. So the first thing that we have through the internet is messaging. And digital money is just another form of messaging. So most of what we're talking about is some version of secure messaging. Once you've got the internet, Bitcoin is inevitable. People will try and figure out a way of transferring value peer-to-peer. And we get this question a lot, why is Bitcoin a thing? Why do people care? So it's a thing for technical reasons. The engineers wanted to see if they could transfer value without having third-party intermediaries, and they could. And it's also a thing because it's useful. And we've touched on it, in particular, Nick's stories about Nigeria. You don't need to tell anyone in Argentina why Bitcoin is a valuable thing. So everyone in Argentina, when they're paid, they go and take their paycheck and they convert it to dollars, and they put the dollars in their house or in a store box or something like that. So the use cases are driven by local factors. And another use case that may be surprising, you could look up a company called KoalaPay that we work with. So they are looking at the value of secure digital currencies transferring value in natural disasters. So the traditional way this is done is natural disasters. Generally, there are displaced people and there's not much infrastructure, or to the extent there was, it's gone. So people don't have bank accounts. So they will helicopter in holdalls of money. And I'm going to ask you to imagine what happens to the money at the various stages of being put in the holdall and then handed to people at the end. So, talking 90%. I don't mean 90% gets there, I mean 90% doesn't get there. So, having this kind of secure communication for unbanked people is radically valuable in these kind of industries. The reason that this seems kind of odd when we talk about how the internet's built is when they built the internet back in the early 90s, and apologies if any of you were part of this, they forgot to build some fundamental parts. So it should have ID in it. Why do we not know who people are on the internet? That's been solved by crypto assets through things like NFTs, digital IDs, and so on. And they didn't build payments. So the payments bit is what's being built subsequently, and those points that Nick and Max are going to talk about, I'm sure, connecting. in order for value to transfer in a secure way. Things that were true about crypto and can be off-putting but are no longer true. The association with financial crime and fraud. So we work a lot with the Met Police and with law enforcement in the US. There are some famous quotes from the CIA who implore criminals to use cryptocurrencies because they can find them like that. And there's a record and you can't chase your record. Now, if you're in a location where the government won't cooperate, so if you're in Russia or you're the Lazarus Group in North Korea, you get away with it. But that's a failure of international enforcement. It's not a failure of transparency through crypto.